What's up, man? Ladies and
How you
gentlemen,
doing?
Vaughn Coleman, everybody.
Oh yeah, it's good to be here, man.
I
It's
see you
a lot of
repping
fun.
the X-Men shirt.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
I
was just
I
actually for the first time in a while reading some X-Men stuff. I haven't watched '97 yet. Before you ask, so I skipped over the '60s stuff. Maybe I'll come back to it later. But like the original stuff and what I came to, and this is the era I made a video on this. If you want to start reading X-Men, Giant Size X-Men #1. That is what you start with. So that's the first X-Men appearance of Wolverine, but he technically first appeared in a Hulk issue. But it's the first appearance of
He did?
Colossus, Storm. Yes.
I never knew that.
He
That's
first-
crazy how on one series Claremont spent longer than like a whole franchise. That's crazy.
yes. And then he only left because the editors were like telling him, decided that they knew more than this guy who. So like Claremont created like Gambit, Emma Frost, Sebastian Shaw, Kitty Pryde, like Mr. Sinister, like during this run and all the spin-offs, like most of the X-Men characters, if they're not from the 60s, they're from this run. So like in the 60s characters, it's like Magneto, but like even then, Magneto, like the idea that he was a Holocaust survivor wasn't introduced until one issue 150, which Claremont wrote. So like even stuff like that, like the idea that Magneto was a Holocaust survivor and was previously friends with Xavier, were ideas that Claremont added on to the old stuff.
I
I was
have
like, what?
Crisis on Infinite Earths on my shelf too, where they look like Watchmen characters.
Man, let me. I haven't looked at this in a little bit. Let me remind myself.
Ain't no way! Ain't no way! We have the same like
Well, you
anniversary
have the
edition.
35th
Yeah,
anniversary.
35th anniversary edition.
Nice.
Crisis on
Follow that
Infinite
culture.
Earths.
Because I'm looking at these comics, and it's one of the sad things about reading these older comics is knowing that where they end up isn't where you want them to be. I don't want the X-Men that I love from here to end up where they are now, where they're on an island and they're acting like a cult.
It's so weird.
You
It's so
know,
weird.
where like Cyclops and Wolverine are cucking each other. Like I'm not doing that, right? Well, with my comic, it's like I wanted to bring that old heart and soul that was found in these superhero comics into the modern age. With a new franchise, creator owned. I own the company. I founded the company. I'm publishing the book. I'm writing the book. And I want this to be something bigger, but you got to start small, one step at a time. But I wanted to give. It's like a big issue. It's 68 pages, my first issue, and I always
68
say,
pages.
yeah,
Lord.
I always say, well, 64 of story, it's 68 total. One of the pages, by the way, will be a fan art page. So there's a fan art contest. I even
So is it
got a
gonna,
new.
if you don't mind me asking, is it gonna look like this when it releases? Like, is it
Hold
gonna
on,
be like,
I gotta let me tell you
sorry,
what it
sorry.
is.
I got Isom Volume 1, you know, like the
Yeah,
trade
it'll look kind of
paperback.
it'll be
It's gonna
like
be like
perfect bound. Yeah,
built like that.
yeah,
Okay, because I was expecting it to be like a single issue build.
yeah. I was going to, but then my page count, I learned that it kind of bows once you get it to a certain point. So my subsequent issues will be,
Oh.
but so that's why I did perfect bound.
Okay, so yeah, it will be perfect bound like Isom.
So I met Eric actually at MegaCon this year.
I heard about that.
Um,
Yeah, you talked about that at one point.
yeah, he was cool to me. So unfortunately Chuck Dixon couldn't make it, but Mike Barron was there. I was on a show with Mike Barron a couple times recently. Mike Barron is great. He did first 10 issues of the Punisher ongoing series. He's great writer all around. He's doing some stuff for Ripa, but yeah, I mean it's been great, man. Working and networking. Building your own audience and advertising is a lot of work. It's basically mostly what I did today. And issue 2, I finished off this. Well, I say finished. Technically, nothing's ever finished, but I finished the main layout of the script. I'm just gonna fine tune some things, revise it after years. I'm very happy with it, and it flows nice, and I'm ready to start issue 3 soon. After I close this, so the way this campaign works, so as if we're doing this on Saturday, Sunday, which by the way, you're welcome on my closeout stream if you want to hang out tomorrow night. Let me know. I'm doing a closeout stream, and basically, it's gonna close funding the original period of funding for this comic, and then it's gonna close out for 5 days. Everyone's gonna get charged, and then it's gonna reopen again. And once you spend the money, it's there. So if people want to revise their order, they can now. Also, if you So for the first day of the campaign, everyone that backed within the first 24 hours got an exclusive free trading card. Well, I decided for the last few days of the campaign, that trading card is available for $5. So if you were unable to get it for free, I'm still respecting those day one backers, but you can get it for $5 for a limited time. Once this campaign funding period closes, you won't be able to get it again. It'll be a collector's item. But yeah, I also I will have a website. You'll be able to get the main cover later, but if you back it, you'll be able to get a mini print, and you'll be able to get variant covers. One of the variant covers is an homage cover to Final Fantasy VII. I think we live in an age where people favor instant gratification and capitalizing on trend, especially in America. Japan is continuing to tell timeless stories, and that's why they're kicking our asses. You can't say that
Well,
about
I
us
mean,
Americans.
honestly, they're just focused hard on telling stories in
Yes.
general.
Hmm.
That alone, they are
Yes.
miles ahead of us in that category.
A lot of the best stories ever, either before I was born, even if they weren't, I'll be able to show them to my kids. You know, you look at a lot
Hmm.
of hey, how often do you really leave a movie theater and say, this is what I'm going to remember for the rest of my life? I think it's an insecurity because people are afraid of being sincere and doing something real. And so they have to go. It's kind of like if you're with friends, it's like, imagine if you're asking a girl, the comparison I'd say, imagine you're asking a girl out and then she's like, what? You're like, I'm kidding. Like, because you don't want to be put yourself out there. That's what it feels like Marvel is doing with the movies. They have a serious moment, but they're like insecure about it because they're like, what if it doesn't land? So be like, see what I did there? Or he's right behind me, isn't he? Because you don't want to just have a genuine tense moment because you're afraid. Like that, it feels like they're oozing insecurity. A lot of modern writers, it really does.
I'm
Like, oh, self
confident.
awareness.
I'm confident that because we've long since known that they're reshooting Daredevil Born Again. Like they scrapped the whole old project and they're remaking it.
Oh my
So
god,
so I am super confident that that first version that we're never gonna see
was that?
that definitely had a I didn't see that coming joke in it.
Or I'm a big fan of when I write boiling my idea and my themes down to its core, its heart, and letting it bleed through the pages and letting it, and so I rewrote this comic I found my artist and I was like, hold on, I'm not ready to hire you just yet. Let me revise the script again. He liked the script, but I didn't think it was good enough. Until it was worthy of his talents, I wasn't ready. And now it's out. And then I decided to go back to issue 2. And I'm gonna, I have the first 8 issues written and many more planned.
One of my favorite
Mm.
things that I've seen in media is when people write a book and then that book later gets a comic adaptation and then
Yes.
other adaptations spin off from the comic because now that the comic puts a more defined visual spin on it, it makes other people more confident to adapt the narrative at large, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So like I
Yeah.
want to do something like that where I'm going to write because I already have a trilogy of books planned out. I just need to actually write them. I wanted to get the general
Yes.
narrative.
That's
I
the
wanted
thing.
to
You
get the
have
general
to.
narrative mapped out and make sure that in a general sense there's no holes. And now I'm going to actually start doing the fine print in between bits.
So Phenomenova is going to be 68 pages to start. I would love one day to have one of those like brick size omnibuses of Phenomenova, but we got to start here. And my hope for the next campaign is to have the next 2 issues in one, and then two, and then two, 2 pages, and then kind of build out the story like that. That's my hope.
Would
Just
I
because
would
it's
buy it
been
all cuz I'm going to buy them one by one as they come out and
okay.
read them, maybe review them. I don't know. I'm still getting around to finishing all the Eric July stuff that's out, so I don't know if I'm going to review it, but I'm definitely reading it, so I can guarantee I'll read
Sounds
it.
good.
But if I decide to review it, I'll let you know. And then
Sounds good.
if you release a full compilation, I'll buy it still just to help you out.
Yeah.
Boost the
Sounds good. Yeah,
numbers.
or if you want it. Yeah. Thank you. Well, yeah, make sure Phenomenova, unlike a lot of crowdfunded books that are very early in production, issue 1 is going to have I decided to start campaigning. Initially it was going to be fully done, but I decided it's mostly done and by the time I'm done campaigning it will be finished. So, I wanted to really take this time, promote the hell out of it. Um And so you'll have a quick turnaround time on this book, and the faster and more this book funds, the faster turnaround time we could have on book two. Because the more, financial security, the more I could focus on book two and book three. So I'm hoping to get this done soon. But regardless, me just begging isn't good enough. I provide incentives. If it hits 15K, everyone gets a special mini print. And if it gets 20K, it'll be another trading card will be added. I'm gonna keep adding stretch goals, but everyone does get a free mini print when they back the book. And if you get it soon, there is a trading card still available, and the variant covers are all campaign exclusives. So all of that, but I haven't even talked about the story yet. I realize that I'm selling a comic that no one knows anything about. So Phenomenova is set 20 years after World War III and follows the idealistic son of a war hero who is struck by lightning while holding a mysterious crystal, and he finds himself awakening with lightning powers and lightning speed, and decides he wants to use those powers, inspired by the brave heroes that came before him, to make the world a better place. And he sees on TV that there's a heist going on at a nuclear reactor, and he decides he's going to don this makeshift costume and rush in, but he finds himself in way over his head when he attempts to intervene and fight a villain that's totally out of his league. I wanted a hero that is very flawed, that's got all the right ideals, but he's not quite there yet. And what we're going to see, so Phenomenova is the name of the team that he will be joining in a later issue. The name of the series, it will be a team book, but our main character is named Galvanite. And he is going to
Galvanite?
be trained by one of the. Yes. And he is going to be trained by one of the brave heroes that fought during World War III, one of the superheroes who fought during World War III, to join a team called Phenomenova.
So
Yeah, like
what makes
Galvan,
you
Galva Knight, Knight.
what would you say is a lot of like the inspirations that go into this?
So Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movie was my biggest inspiration in terms of pacing it out, because I like the original Spider-Man comics, don't get me wrong. But when I finally read Amazing Fantasy 15, you could tell they kind of bullet pointed a bit when it gets to the origin. It's great. It's great. But the movie, I like that you really take the time to care. You have those moments where he's like, "Go Web, fly!" Like those moments where he's trying with the powers. You see his high school life. So that was my biggest inspiration, I'd say. And then when it came to writing it as a comic book, Chris Claremont's X-Men run, just the way that they would always throwing out new ideas and really spend time getting to know the characters while also having some action going on, the way they'd have multiple running plot lines, and you get to see the universe and the characters expand in real time, and the lore goes from like this simple bad mutants, to this whole mythology, over the course of that run. That's what I'm building on, while also at its core being a character-centric story. So you could have all that lore, but it needs to be. I always think the character is the most important part of the story. So those original Stan Lee Spider-Man comics, New Teen Titans, that's another great one. New Teen Titans, I don't mean like the new stuff out. I mean that series by Marv Wolfman and George Perez, where they first got Starfire, Raven, all them. That iconic series.
I forget, was that the first time or just the best implemented time where they put Cyborg in the team?
That was the first time. This is
Okay.
Cyborg's first appearance.
Yeah, okay. Cuz
Cyborg, Raven, Starfire, their first appearance. And
cuz
this
they
was
didn't have
Teen Titans was a failed series to start with. This is what made it like a success. Spectacular Spider-Man, Young Justice, the Justice League animated series, the DCAU as a whole. But even outside of that, I find myself pulling from like everything. Not just superhero stuff, but obviously my biggest inspirations for my superhero series, surprise, surprise, are that. But I mean, Claremont is my favorite writers are Chris Claremont, Jeff Johns, Jeff Loeb, um, Marv Wolfman, Chuck Dixon, who I had the honor of working with as an editor on this book called Hunter Ninja Bear. I was an editor
Oh,
on
I
that.
heard I heard about that. I never managed to get one cuz I was
Great
broke
book,
when it was coming out.
unbiased. But yeah, that's my
Hunter
first
Ninja
job in
Bear.
comics
I have
as an
his
editor
I
on
have
that.
Alpha Core. I have Alpha Core 1.
Yeah.
I haven't
And
read it yet
then
though.
my first 10-page story. I want to make this a full book, especially. I mean, I think people will be interested. It's got everything. I feel like it's right up your alley. It's certainly up mine. The first book, it was this 10-page short story. I won a writing contest. It was when I was in college. I was really fed up with PC bullshit, and I was like, all right, what's a story that like will piss off? Well, is everything that I'm not supposed to do. All right, so let's get this hot chick who loves guns in America going through a futuristic desert. Boom. There we go. And then from there, I was crafting the world, and I came up with this opening scene. And it's a weird thing where I came up with the opening scene and then kind of expanded out. And so I have a full story planned, but I did do a 10-page short story that's basically this. It's called Land of the Lawless. You have this hot chick named Lyra Lawless who's going through the desert in this high tech truck in a
Lyra
futuristic West.
Lawless.
Yes.
That's so 90s. I love it.
Go ahead.
How deep are we getting with some elements? Like, are you gonna go villain, like 90s villain that's just muhaha, I am evil, I am obstacle, or are you gonna go a deeper, more interesting route, like, I don't know, like an arcane sort of route where there's clear-cut motivations and a humanity to the villains? I'm intrigued in that
There is a
aspect
clear
because
cut
I saw
motivation
your
and humanity, but you're not going to see it in issue one. You're going to get hints at greater things to come. For issue one, in the context of the story, you see he's a more of a threat, a mysterious threat. But I have a full. My favorite issue that I've written is the one where you reveal his identity and his backstory. That is I think that is the best writing I've ever done. Honestly, that issue. I need to go back and reread it, and hopefully, I'm nice on my past self. But I remember being very proud of that script. So we just have to get to that point. But you will see, even though he's very mysterious and threatening in issue one, you will see that there is a humanity and there's some deeper motivation, but you're not quite sure what it is yet.
Okay,
This is
okay.
someone who's very jaded by the world, so I wanted to have an antagonist who kind of is at odds, not just physically at odds with my main character, in terms of Dark Cloud, Galvanite, Bright Lightning, and then Dark Cloud. And one has powers, one doesn't. One uses high tech. One is very experienced, and one is experienced and has lots of tech and gadgets. One just has powers, nothing. They're contradicting. But in another way, is one Dark Cloud is someone who, for some reason, he's very, and we don't know why, he's very he doesn't have ideals in this world anymore. He just has things that he wants to protect and goals he has. He doesn't have any faith in humanity. He believes everyone is out for themselves, and that you shouldn't rush into things that don't concern you. Don't worry about hurting others because they'll hurt you anyway. Um,
Bro, this sounds awesome.
Focus on
If you stick the landing on this could be like peak fiction.
you can't withhold everything. You got to sell some stuff. And you're not going to get much of him in issue one. You will get a mini print of him if he backed the campaign that you won't be able to get once the campaign is over. But you're not going to get much of him in issue one. Issue one is focused primarily on the characters. That's what it's primarily. It's primarily focused on my main character. You don't even see the team in the team book. You will get more of him. I'm giving you the slow burn on this character, but once you get him and who he is, we're all in. Like, I think the way I've structured the scripts is, and I guess I won't spoil exact issue numbers yet, but you get hints of him, little hints, drops as you're focusing on the main characters. Then you get the reveal of who he is, boom. And from there, it's all about, okay, now you care about the characters, now you care about him, let's go. That's how I structured the story.
So is
thinking about it,
this
because I was kind of insecure about it. I'm like, no, I structured it pretty nicely, actually.
is
The most important thing you can do is make the person care about what happens next.
curious. I'm reading, like, for example, the Ripaverse. I'm reading the bits and pieces of that.
Yes.
He's doing it in a very Hellboy fashion, where he's got, Hellboy. Like Eric July has his own Hellboy in ISOM. He has his own BPRD in Alpha Core, and it's clearly like a whole universe that's moving along that he said he already knows how it's going to end. That's the important part. It's going to end. Is it just Phenomenova, or is this going to be like, I know it's like a bad buzzword for people in our communities, but do you have like a universe that you want to do with
Yeah, it's
this?
a universe. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. I
cool,
do
cool,
have.
cool.
I want to make this an ongoing series, essential ongoing series, but I have my own version of the Suicide Squad. I mentioned as I was planning out my World War III story, which will be called Crusader Corps, is the name of the team that fought in World War III. As I was planning out the world, I was like, dude, this World War III backdrop, and because I was basically writing a story at that point, and I was planning out what happened in World War III. I was like, why don't I tell this story? So there will be a prequel series, Superheroes in World War III. superheroes, supervillains of World War III. It'll be called Crusader Corps. So that's going to be a limited prequel series. I'm gonna have my
So
own like Suicide Squad team. I have multiple other groups. I have like a Punisher style story in this universe, and I'm open if other people come in and they pitch things for my universe. Just know, my house, my rules. But I'll let people, But I do have multiple series, multiple stories I want to do. And Phenomenova, I'm gonna be doing a ton with that. That'll be my flagship title. But I will have other titles in the universe. Yes.
okay, well, we've got everyone's attention still. Um, explain all the dates and the deals and all that with Phenomenova. How can they back you? What do they get out of each tier? Yada yada yada. You know.
The main comic is $20. So, and you have as of me recording. So by the time your editor's done editing this, the funding period will probably be over. But it should be back up and running by like the 26th. The campaign. You're gonna be able to get the chance to get this exclusive trading card for just $5. Once that's done, it's done. That's okay. The comic itself, the main cover, is $20 plus shipping. Then if you want any of the variant covers, it's the same comic, just with a different cover. So there's 3 variant covers, and I'm going to add a 4th one later. The 3 covers include a Final Fantasy VII homage cover, one by my friend Rini, who you've streamed with on my channel. She used to do work at Marvel. Then there is my friend Sukesha Ray. Those 3 covers are going to be available only for campaigns. Once the campaigns are done, the people who back the book, they get it first before it goes up on my website or is available digitally or anywhere else. The backers get the book first. They're the priority. And the backers are the only ones who will be able to get the variant covers. Once the variant covers are done, they're sold. They are limited printing. So if you want those, they're just $5 more than the main cover each. But they are limited and they will be worth more later on. So, and they have a different cover. So get whatever cover you like the most, or if you want more than one, you can get more than one. And the tiers represent that. So there's a main cover tier for 20, then there's like 45 where it's a main and a variant of your choice. There's just the variant cover. There you can get 2 variant covers, you can get 3 of the variant or all 3 of the variant covers, you can get all of the covers. And then so all of the covers is $95. And then if you get for just 20 extra dollars, you get all the covers and then a poster, an 11 by 17 poster of the main cover for $115. Then there's the insane tiers that listen, you got to add, by the way, if you guys are ever doing crowdfund, just add those insane tiers, because if even one person gets it, that's money in your pocket. There's the $500 tier where it's 5 of every cover. And also 5 of each poster, 5 of everything. Then there's the $1,000 tier, which is 10 of everything. Basically, what you do, because a lot of people struggle with it, go through the rewards section, click on the reward of your choice, and then on the right-hand side towards the bottom, once you've selected all the rewards, go to the cart. And if you see, there's a $5 signature tier. So if you meet me in person, or if you meet me at a convention, I'll sign for free. But if you want the comic to come to you signed, if you think you'll never meet me or whatever, or you're abroad, whatever the case may be, just in addition to getting whatever reward you want, just get the signature tier for just $5 extra, and I'll happily go to my fulfillment center and sign for you. So $5 extra just to get it signed.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I just want to get all that info out there.
And most people get the main. 86 people have gotten the main cover. Just the main cover, which is fine by me. That's exactly what I wanted it to be, as accessible as possible. The most important thing is that people are reading the story. The problem with a lot of comics today is a lot of comics sell because people want the variant covers or people want to collect it and they don't actually read the story. I didn't put all this effort into this story for people to just go, okay, backboard, throw that away. Now, if you do that, it's still money in my pocket. But I want to make an impact as a writer. I want to tell a story. I want to keep Phenomenova. As soon as I know I could start another project while keeping Phenomenova going, which could be soon. Because here's the thing, I want to do that story, Land of the Lawless. That's its own universe. But as soon as I do I know I have time to do my first title. I think what I'll do is I'll decide between, okay, do we want that? And in fact, I'll ask you for your opinion real quick. Do you want that Western? Would you want that Western, the World War III story, or like that Suicide Squad title story first, if you were to choose one of those 3?
Me? I want to get my hands on Phenomenova first. Because I would say, for me personally, if it was me, running your ship, I would say wait till we see how Phenomenova is received. Wait till we see
Yeah.
how
Well, that I know. I'm saying, imagine it's received well, and then I get
received
the
well. Go
chance
all
to
in.
do another.
Go all in on that
I
universe. Go all in on that universe, and then do
okay, that's what you suggest.
once you've squared away all of that. Maybe take advantage of the fan base. Is it Pineapple Outpost?
Never. I don't know what's Pineapple Outpost.
I'm dumb. What's your publishing company's name again? Pineapple Oasis?
Oh, Rebel Oasis.
Why did I say Pineapple? Oh, Pineapple is a friend of mine. She has, like, a Pineapple Outpost. That's her thing. I'm sorry. My brain is fried.
And that's what it's about, and that's what I want to create, man, is, just something that anyone can enjoy. There's nothing crazy reactionary in this book. Like, even that other one I joked about, that it was, like, the other story I did where it was like, oh, I just wanted to do everything that I wasn't allowed to do. The story itself is not really reactionary or very political in nature, in my opinion, but it's Phenomenova is an all ages book. My target audience, I mean, technically no target audience is everybody, but it's a book that I think anyone can enjoy. And that's my goal.
See,
and
I
that's
write
what
with
think,
the
a lot of art is missing today.
Amen to that. I agree. My whole mantra is I write so that someone out there will enjoy it. And if most people enjoy
Yes.
it, then I have overachieved. But my whole thing is I feel it's kind of cringe now because he's not really the underdog he used to be, but like I think it was Eminem who said that, like, hey, one person out there was uplifted by my music. I feel like I succeeded. Like, he said something to that effect at one point. So, like, I feel the same way about my writing. If this touches someone in a certain type of way someday, I'll consider that a win.
Oh man, I didn't realize that. Yeah, and that's one of the things when I'm writing is even the fact that my idea resonates with anyone. And that's what I'm most excited about, is people reading it. If it resonates, you got to write for yourself, as corny as it sounds, you do. And the truth is, you'll probably end up resonating with someone else too. Don't pander. Just write. Like, there are indie comics that back that have been like, okay, but I respect that they were sincere, and they'll get up and you have to be receptive to criticism. That doesn't mean you have to. I've had people make criticisms that I don't agree with, but you have to at least be willing to listen to it. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. There's some that I do. There's a lot of. I got so much feedback on my book. So many people proofread it, and I'd get people that would be brutally honest with me, and often be like, "Man, you got a point. That scene does go on too. That scene does have too much dialogue. Oh, that character arc doesn't make sense. This isn't made clear." But you also, you just gotta try and do the best story you can do that makes you happy. And it's okay if it doesn't hit every plot point exactly. But just, try and make the best thing you can and try not go just insane enough doing it.
Just insane enough. Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Mr. Vaughn Coleman.
Thank you so much for having me. This is great. I'd love to hang out again. It's been a long time since we hung out, but it's been worth the wait, man. And I'm sorry we kept pushing this back, but thank you for having me. It's been great talking to you. It really has been.
It's been great having you, and rest assured there will be many more collaborations to come. I've made it on your streams a couple times. Yeah. This is the first time you've made it on mine, and we're definitely he's part of the crew, but he has his own little skiffy that he floats off on more often than not, and he's always welcome back on the boat. So
yeah, I'd love to come on. Just let me know whenever you guys are doing. I'm sorry, we keep missing each other, but never by intention.
Oh yeah, it's just because we both are doing our own things. That's
meet the rest of your crew.
That's the curse of creation, my friend. You get so wrapped up in all our own individual stuff, and like I said, our skiffies just sort of need to cross more often on our journeys. Right. Good night, man. It was phenomenal having you. Take care, and I can't wait to chat again.
Yeah, I can't wait. See you, pal. Have a good night.
You too.
Phenomenova.